Hello, you lot. How's it going? How's it going? It's good. Um, I don't know where that came from. I have a very playful energy normally. I'm quite playful and can be loud and I laugh loud. But I think with being a counselor and a naturopath, I've had to refine myself so I'm a bit more poised, you know what I mean? So, but um, I love playfulness in people, and the partner I want in my life, if I ever get re-partner, which I've been quite happy on mine. A, he'd have to be pretty strong to deal with my personality type, but B, he'd have to have a good sense of humor and be playful and muck around with me. You know what I mean? I'm quite happy where I am right now. I just don't put up with any things that's going to take energy from me and what I do. I'm definitely married to my job, and um, I didn't mean to talk about this. I'm not even thinking about relationships, to be honest. I'm quite happy on mine. It's been a while since I've been with someone, but I've been focused on my career and been quite happy. But this is about you, not about me. So forgive me. Um, so I did. Where was I going with that? So playfulness. I'm just thinking if you can relate to this, that a partner that you'd match you is someone who thinks like you, who has a similar kind of point of reference, who has that sense of humor, and yeah. And the thing is with me, and because I'm a behaviorist, and I understand human psychology very well, 'cause I'm a counselor and what have you, and I've been around the block a few times. I can peg a mile away the wrong kind of person, and I can peg people quite accurately. I've been told that as well. And it's observation, it's intuition, because I'm very intuitive, and it's also very. I'm saying this because I think I talk to a lot of people who are like this. So I suppose it's validating you if you're watching this. So, but I suppose it's just a conversation about partners and that. It's just I've just been watching something, and there's a couple on Instagram called Shartsy something or other, and I love watching them because they're just so in love, and he plays with her. They muck around like children, and he goes around. She takes videos of him and her at the playground with their kids. They're American and they're religious, you know. I don't follow them because of religion. I follow them because they're crazy. And he goes running around. He's a Marine, but he's not that tall. He's only like maybe 5'8", and he goes around all the kids. And she's filming him going over the kids' climbing equipment, and he goes, "Paco, Mako, follow." He's mucking around. There's that playfulness. I just love it. I just love it. And I suppose this ties into what I was going to talk about today was about being good or bad. And I have got some cards to pull, so I will do that in a minute. I'm flipping the way I'm going to do it now. So um, now, there's good or bad, yes, absolutely, but it's very individual to yourself. So in witchcraft and spirituality, you can separate people into different categories, good or bad. Like I am a white witch and I am a good witch, and sorry, I'm just trying to center myself in the bloody screen. I'm not drunk. The computer's drunk. Um, but I don't like labels, so I just do what I do, and I do it with a good heart and good intention. Because I am a Christian, which I believe in God and Jesus, I don't feel the need to create multi pantheons, like groups of different gods and goddesses. I understand. I said this in the previous video. I understand why people do it. I have friends who do it. And all the gods and goddesses, and Lilith and Hecate and the Morrigan, which I relate to. I might have mentioned that before. And then you got, all Apollo and Zeus and other things that you may draw on, or other kind of gods, more witchy gods than those. I can't think of any off the top of my head because all the HD brain's going like this, and I'm kind of got in my head all the things I'm going to say, and I just don't have the time to research them. But at the end of the day, you're looking at it, intention. So if your intention behind it is good, if your intention behind it is bad, that is what you'll create. And so the other aspect of good and bad is people often say to me, "You're such a good person, Lisa. Why are you so good?" And like people think of me as it's just the way I present. The way I present is not what's inside, as I keep saying to people until I go hoarse and in the throat. It's like, oh, don't peg me based on this because it's no. But the reason why I was good, I was thinking about this. I went to the shopping center this morning to pick up something and just to have a day out, to get out of the house because I've been stuck in the house with two annoying cats all week, who drive me bloody mad. I might have mentioned that they drive me mad. They're not killing each other at the moment. So Salem was asleep on the bed in my room under the blanket, and Luna was on under the blanket on my armchair, and I just left them to it. So today I was driving home from Garden City Shopping Centre, which is about 20 minutes away from where I live, and I was just thinking to myself, why do people think that I'm good? And I'm thinking a lot of it is because I've had a background where I wasn't so good, if that makes sense. Like um, I'm not a bad person, but I've always been a good person. But I made a commitment to myself to be good to people, to be kind, to show love and compassion because I've seen bad. And I've never been a bad person. That's not what I mean. But I've done things I'm not proud of. Let me put it that way. And so, and I hope you can relate to this. So that creates the foundation of what I do spiritually speaking, and as a counselor, obviously. So, and all the things I do, because I know what it's like to not have good. Um, we all do. We all have some level of it, and I know what it's like to have to fight for your life. But like I said, I've done things in my life I'm not proud of, but a lot of what I did was in reaction to what was being done to me, if that makes sense. So, and so I seem quite. One ex-friend called me mumsy, and it's like I seem it, but I'm not. Um, but it's what I portray outward to because I can be quite harsh or I can be quite soft. And I think some people get the wrong idea, and I've tried to make myself palatable, if that makes sense. So, and that's a neurodivergent thing because I'm ADHD. I've had to mask to survive. But I think the character of who you are, if you're a good, to me also, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I was thinking, and again, this is kind of lapsing onto the counselling side of things, not just the spiritual side of things that wanting to talk to you about. Just move that a little bit. Is that when I watch people who live in that space of being, um, that sort of mindset of, how do you describe it? I don't know how to describe it. That sense of street smart and thinking that they're tough. And that sense of, I think it must be exhausting to be like that. It must be exhausting to be like that because I don't live like that. I can fight like that, but I don't live like that. And so I think I stay in goodness because I know how exhausting and how debilitating it is to your health, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to stay in an energy of aggression and nastiness and um, a lack of benevolence and that sense of um, I don't know, that sense of pushing through the world. And that in a way that you kind of are humorless and mean spirited and grumpy and this is a general statement because this is based on my life, all my life, what I've seen. So um and I think it takes a lot of energy to do that. However, we're living in a world that can be unkind and you have to have your wits about you. So you have to know how to fight with them if you have to defend yourself, which I have done and I will continue to do so. But but you have to come back to grace. The grace of God, the grace of spirit, whatever universe, Hecate, Lilith, whatever you believe in, um, all the goddesses and all that you believe in, all the gods and goddesses because and I've seen it as a witch as well and as a psychic medium. So many times, people who work in the dark or work in a heavier way, there's always a karmic backlash. Excuse me. And there's always what you reap, what you sow, you reap, as they say. So in spirituality, like I said, I've done 30 years. I've been doing spirituality, and I've worked in lots of shops, and I've worked in places, and we had there was only two of us readers at one point until the business grew, and then we had like quite a few readers, and you can tell the ones that come through that aren't authentic, who are people who are competitive with you because you're I was a founding psychic there. There was Daria who was there as well. She was founding as well. She was there before me, but Daria and I kind of built up things, and then a few other psychics and tarot readers joined in, and so when they joined in, when they came in. There'd be some really good people. We're like a family in the shops, that we worked in. But you would get some that would compete with you and say behind your back that, blah, blah, blah. And that didn't bother me. And my friends that would hear this would defend me, not that reader. But the point I'm making is some people get into this industry for the fame and the ego and the ability to boss people around and tell people what to do. And I must admit, when I first started out, I was picking up on people every left, right, and centre. And I would stop people in the shop saying, "Are you having trouble with your husband?" Or, "Oh, have you got oh, yes, I am." So and you're not supposed to do that. And I know now, as an older, wiser woman, a spiritual a witch and a psychic medium, it's best not to do that. I mean, it's nice when it happens and that person receives it, but I have experienced some people push back and go, "I don't want to know. Who do you think you are?" And friends and that, I always knew everything and told everyone what to do. So I stopped doing that a long time ago because I realized I didn't like it being done to me. It was done with good intention, as I'm sure when people do it to me, it's good intention. But it was just that realization that it wasn't really ethical. And so, but the point, where was I going with this? Was you get people in the spiritual realm who are in it for the wrong reasons. They're in it to sort of make a name for themselves, and they compete with you. And this is experience speaking. This is not me making it up. This is experience speaking. And the way they do it is to tear you down behind your back. And it's never phased me because I always knew I'm very secure in who I am. But it's that sense of I knew deep down that if they were going to do what they're going to do, it'll come back at them later on. And will they learn from that? Not my circus, not my monkey. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about this. I was just thinking on the car coming here, how could I explain good and bad? And it's not one's good and one's bad, but it's just that I always get told, "Oh, you're so good, Lacey. You're so good. You're such a good person." And I am a good person. I'm a good woman. But I am also quite strong, and I've had to fight psychologically, emotionally, verbally, and physically in my life. I'm not afraid to throw a punch, but I don't want to. I'd rather get on with someone and use reasoning and communicate. And I think that what I've seen is that I made me realize I'd rather stay in good than go into bad because, or negative, right? That's a different word. Bad isn't a good word. I like the word bad, but I'd rather stay good because God will always look after me. The universe, angels, whatever you believe in, will always look after me, and it does. It does. And I my late friend Dan and I used to talk about it all the time about how we were both very similar lives. And he used to say he said to me something that I always thought about myself, and he said it out loud. And he said, "Lisa, I think I'm always a catalyst in situations where I come into situations, something happens because of my presence, and then I get blamed for it. But then it gets projected back onto the person blaming me and attacking me, and it works out in the end. But it takes me. I have to go through it before I'm kind of validated or vindicated." And I thought, that's how I feel. So he called himself a catalyst for change. So I see myself where I go into situations where I catalyze things. I always seem to go through shit, and it's not my fault. And I go through shit, and I realize at the end of it, I've got to be patient because God's going to look after me. And this is a lifetime I'm talking about, not what's right now. This is a lifetime because what goes around comes around, and it bloody well does. If I stay good, and I don't mean purity good. I just mean if I stay on the right side of shit, what goes around comes around. I've just had an amazing pizza for lunch. I can't have carbs. I'm diabetic, type 2 diabetic, and I'm trying to get that under control. Um, and so I can't have pizza, but I've just found a pizza base based with almond and lupin flour, which is protein. And so I've just made a pizza with that, with cheese on top, mozzarella. I don't have a lot of dairy, you see, and it aggravates my asthma. And I've just had mozzarella on the pizza, and it was awesome. It's not too bad carb wise. It's very low carb. If you want to know it's PB Co brand. It's a plug. I'm not sponsored. PB Co brand, and they do breads and stuff like that are low carb, more keto based. So look them up, and they're a local. I think they're South Australian. So and they're not cheapish, but they have to run a business. And it's the I'm digressing here, aren't I? And this is Audio HD. And the pizza base has herbs and onion powder in it, and it's the house smelled divine. So I just have to let you know that's why I'm coughing. Um, so I suppose I've forgotten my train of thought. What I'm trying to say is choose wisely in your spiritual practice. Choose wisely because you will reap what you sow if you choose to do grey, darkish stuff. All right. Not saying you shouldn't do it. You want to do it. But just be mindful of the kickback. I'm just saying. All right. And God will always look after those. And I have noticed that anyone that's done me wrong in my life, usually it comes back at them in them. And I don't wish that for them, but I realize in seeing that it's lessons learned for them. And there's lessons for me too. So that's why I stay on the side of good, because I know what it's like to be in a bad space, and I know what it's like to be in difficult situations, and I know what it's like to be forced to be heavy and dark and what have you, in the sense of fighting back to protect. Because it took me to a place where I didn't want to be, but I had to do it. But I have seen in my life, in all sorts of relationships in my life, especially spirituality, where you get a kickback if you don't choose. So and also it's exhausting if you're going to stay in the, darker energy or the tough energy. It's exhausting to maintain that. And I've always felt that I'm a reasonable person. My son will tell you I'm a very nice person, a very reasonable person. I'm also very logical. Um, and I don't play games. And I think in spirituality, it's the same thing. If you play games, it's going to come back and bite you on the ass, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking today, because I do watch people in my life, all through my life, from when I was young to now, in all the spheres that I've worked in, how people who don't listen to God, don't listen to the Spirit, don't listen to the divine, don't listen to the angels, all your pantheon of gods and goddesses you listen to, because they're all, usually you don't want to mess with gods and goddesses, especially like Greg, the ones that we talk about. Again, old ADHD brain spinning too fast, I can't name all of them. But because I don't follow it, I don't remember all the names you see. I only know a few. A lot of them have personalities. Gods and goddesses have personalities, and they can be quite ruthless. Dan used to say to me that he was a follower of Brigid or Brigid, again a Celtic goddess, and by golly, he says, and I've heard this from other colleagues too, that if you follow Brigid or Brigid, Hecate, Lilith, the Morrigan, you will get tested. You will get tested, and so. And it's, in some ways, it's character building, if you know what I mean. So, but that's why I cut through the middleman and go straight to the source, which is the one true God at the top, and all the others are personality and aspects of him or her. Excuse me. I'm not afraid to say him. For me, I don't mind calling God him, because I don't want to call him it. I don't think that it defeminizes me to have a male God. I always believe in the value of a beautiful male. It's the toxic ones I want to avoid. Just the same for men, you want to avoid the toxic women. But the masculine, divine masculine, to me, God is not about male or female, but it's just I don't want to call him it, so I'll call him him. And so I love God, and I think that God will look after me. And so, and even though I've had a really rough 3 years, he got me through all of it every single time. Something happened, something turned up, saved my bacon. And, but there will be kickbacks for people who've done me wrong, if that makes sense. So, karmically speaking and spiritually speaking. So, and this is just my experience as a witch, as a psychic. And I don't wish it on anyone, but I do go, oh, do you really want to do that? Do you really want to do that? And so Dan passed about 4 years ago now, I think. 4 years ago he passed away. Yeah, and he was pagan, and we'd have a lot of conversations about witchcraft, spirituality, psychic abilities, and he was very gifted. And I miss him terribly. We did have a falling out at the end of his life, towards the end of his life, sadly. But yeah, we were good friends for a long time, and I met him through doing readings for him initially, a long time ago in the shop. And we just got on like a house on fire, and would spend hours talking. So he was a talker, not talking, but he was a good soul, very honest, very integral, very down to earth, no bullshit. Anyway, I'll stop. I just feel blood in my nose. Sorry, guys. I have to make this quick anyway, because I have a cup of coffee waiting. Now I get to the card pull. I was picking up on someone out there, and I was picking up on someone who was so sad. And pick up again. I don't think it's the same person. Someone else. I think I know who it is. Okay. What I got was, you're going to get what you've lost. Is going to return to you. Okay. They're female, I think. Bit of sadness. Had a little loss. been around in a tumble dryer all your life, fucking fed up of it. Sorry for the language. I'm a swearer. I'm loud. You've been in a tumble dryer and you're emotional because you feel like, I don't want to go through that again. Please don't do that to me again. And then I heard the words, tell this person what she has lost will be returned to her. So what you lost will be returned to you. So I think I know who this is for. I'll PM you later. It might be several people this is for, because sometimes when I do readings, it means it's the same for everybody. So my glasses are crooked, aren't they? I'm going to go to the optometrist next Friday to get my eyes tested, because I haven't done for a while. And I'm going to get new glasses. They're not going to be crooked. I'm going to try and get some bifocals as well, because I'm so sick of swapping glasses over when I drive. And I'll promise I will brush my hair. I did brush my hair, but I've been outside. It's windswept. So tabs open, audio, see brain. Sorry. I'm trying to keep myself on track here. So please know that what you've lost is going to be returned to you. So have that faith and hope. You did not do anything wrong. Okay. I think you're telling yourself this. You got, what did I do? How could I avoid this? What have I done to deserve this? You've done nothing wrong. Okay, mate? You've done nothing wrong. And you've got to have faith in your dreams and goals. So what I've got, 3 cards. Marriage. You will get married. And this is a marriage card, but it also can be a safety and comfort in the home, 4 walls, stability, enjoying your home. Just enjoy your home. So if you're in a situation where you're home a lot, maybe you're out of work or you're not in work or you're looking for jobs, this is saying your roof of your head is going to be stable and safe, but also enjoy the home. Be in it and enjoy it. Don't see it as having a negative association. Enjoy the cooking, the cleaning, do a bit of spring cleaning, open all the blinds and all the windows. I know it's winter, but just let some air in, and just be at peace. Okay. The second card is the 10 of coins, which is abundance and finances, and that can be inheritance, but it also can be savings. I can hear spirit interrupt me now. You've got money behind you. So even though you don't want to touch it, you've got money behind you and it's there for a reason, as a cushion. But yes, don't worry. Money's also going to be coming in. Abundance mindset. So this is about money coming back in. So you might have had a loss with work and money, but it's coming back. Okay. Note to self, do not eat cheese before I do a live. It's the cheese. It's making, anyway. I do it to myself. I'm not supposed to have dairy, but I keep doing it. Okay. The last card, and I'll finish on this because I want my coffee, is the wish fulfillment card, which is the 9 of Cups. So your wish is going to come true. This is a blessing on the reading. Please know you're going to be caught. If you feel like you're falling, you will be caught. Wish fulfillment is coming. The relationship, the relationship, the home, and the money. Abundance and safety. You are safe, no matter what it looks like. We love you. I love you. I'll speak about the spirit there. Smiley pants, aren't I? We love you. I love you. You are special. I appreciate you for watching this. I know there's a couple of people that only watch at the moment because people don't always know. I haven't done much on my Facebook page, my psychic mediumship page, for a long time. So people have just dropped off. So I only get like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 hits. One of my videos had 7 hits, I think. I do a lot of content. I do a podcast. I do a lot of lives on my business pages. So talks on that. But I want to do my spiritual work because this is my time with you. I get to do things my way this way, with spirituality. And I get to have a little chat with people. So, and I say on all my videos, I'm a storyteller. I'm here to tell stories. Even if it is about me, I'm using myself muggins here. I always expose myself because I've got the balls to do it. Bring it. If you don't like it, bring it. I'm going to be myself on these YouTube videos because I use myself as an example with altruism. I don't do it because I'm self-centered. I'm a Leo. People think that we want attention. But my intention for the attention is to help. It's not about me. This is why I keep saying about my hair. I need to put me first, and I don't. I put you guys first. If that makes sense. Anyway, thank you for listening. Note to self, get new bras. Sorry. That's TMI, isn't it? Too much information. So anyway. All right, guys, have a good weekend. It's my weekend, and I'm going to rest and read, hang out with the putty cats, and eat good food, healthy food. I'll talk to you soon. Look after yourselves, and just looking for the button. Look after yourselves, and if you like this and you want someone to see it, like and share, you can comment if you want. If it's polite and constructive, I don't want any crappy bullshit. I will delete and block because there's no need for that. I don't get much of that, but I'm just saying. Take care, guys. Bye.